What is a comet? So comets are basically dirty snowballs which orbit the sun. They are generally made of
ice, such as water, carbon dioxide, ammonia. And a curved tail is the
gas tail is created by the solar wind. This pushes gas away from the comet's coma and pointing it straight back from the sun. The dust from the coma is not affected by the magnetic fields, but is vaporized by the sun's heat, and this forms a curved tail, which follows the comet's orbit.
At the close of the last century, a comet captured into orbit around a planet traveled too close and was shredded by its gravity into multiple pieces, some as large as half a mile or 1 kilometer long. Those fragments would plunge into the planet's atmosphere in a series of impacts. Would the impacts be spectacular?
Or would the comet fragments disappear without a trace? In July 1994, astronomers around the world watched with bated breath as the fragments of Comet Shoemaker 89 slammed into the planet Jupiter. Tracers of the winds in Jupiter's stratosphere.
And by following temporary changes in the aurora on Jupiter showed scientists that Jupiter's magnetosphere was influenced by particles from the impacts.
We are still able to see changes in Jupiter's atmosphere that resulted from the impacts. When the fragments of Shoemaker-Levy 9 slammed into Jupiter, they deposited their own chemical compounds, the impact processes produced some, and others were exhumed from the lower atmosphere. Some molecules, like ammonia, were destroyed by sunlight in the weeks and months after the impacts. But others, like hydrogen cyanide and water, are still seen today. All of that tells scientists about how chemistry works in Jupiter's atmosphere.
Comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 showed us that large impacts still happen in the solar system and were a factor in NASA developing programs to address the impact risk to Earth. From comet science to Jupiter science to the science of impacts, the legacy of that serendipitous discovery by Carolyn and Jean Shoemaker and David Levy continues to this day and into the future.